What's up guys, my name is Connor. I am a designer and fabricator here in Brooklyn, New York. In this series, I'm taking you through the design and fabrication of a new flat pack dining chair for our furniture brand Hoek Home. Last week's episode, we focused on the initial concept and the frame of the chair, and in this week's episode, we're going to look at vacuum forming and creating the seat and the backrest for the chair. So if you're interested in this type of design and fabrication content, be sure to check out some of the other series that I've got on my channel. My furniture brand Hoek Home also has a dedicated YouTube channel where we look at different things about what's going on in the day-to-day life of the business, marketing, and a host of other things. So be sure to head over to that channel and check it out too. Okay, let's dive in.
We have a pretty solid idea about how we're going to make the structure of the chair. We have these two pieces of plywood with a joint plate in the middle, and we have that second piece over here, and they slot together. So the next step really is figuring out how we're going to make these curved backrest elements and seat element. And we'll typically do that with bendy ply or layers of plywood, and we do it with a mold. So here I have three options over here to try out for different shapes. I've got a seat option right here, a backrest option in the middle, and another seat option here. And we're making these molds from 2-inch thick chunks of MDF. I just have this scrap laying around from an old project. So we'll glue those together, do the same for all three. And then once they're dry, they're gonna act as the mold or the shape for the seat. And we'll layer multiple layers of 1/8-inch bendy ply, I think 3. So it'll end up being 3/8 thick. And we'll put that in a vacuum bag and we'll be able to suck the plywood down to this shape, and that's how we're going to get those curved shapes.
We've modeled out our initial forms or shapes for the seat and the backrest. We have to actually physically make those molds. So the way that I'm going to do that, I've got this huge piece of scrap wood left over from a previous job, and it's 2 inches thick MDF. So it's soft, it's great for cutting on the CNC machine. So I'm going to cut out all of the profiles from this, and then we're going to glue laminate them together, and that's going to make the shape, and that will become the mold for the backrest and the seat. So let's get this on the CNC machine and start making them.
Alright, so we have CNC cut all of the pieces for the molds. You can see them behind me here, and we've glued those up. So now we have a mold for the backrest and for the two seat shapes that we want to try out. I have pre-cut 3 layers of bendy ply for each mold. And the next step now is to lay these guys out on the table and get them all glued up so we can stack them together and get them in the vacuum bag. So I'm just laying them out here on the table. I'll glue the bottom 2 layers of each piece of bendy ply, then we'll stack them together and get them over at the vacuum bag. So here I am at the vacuum bag. I'm just using some blue tape to hold the layers in place while I'm sliding them into the bag so they don't move around, and then we're good to turn it on.
All right. It is the next day. These guys have been drying in this vacuum bag for close to 24 hours now. Probably could have taken them out a lot quicker than that, but I just left the shop and sit here overnight. So now I'm gonna pop them out, release the pressure. So this is the machine that we use right here. It's a little vacuum pump. You just turn it on and it'll suck the air out through this tube, suck the air out of this bag, and then everything gets sucked down. I've been doing bent lamination for years. I started in grad school, and this is the first time I've ever used a vacuum bag. Super exciting. It's so much easier because basically I just made the bottom mold, and I don't need this complicated mold on top to push down, and
You don't need any clamps or anything like that.
All right, so here you can see the first 3 molds that we have made for the seat and the backrest. So this is the first one right here. You can see it's quite an exaggerated curve from back to front, and it dips down right under your knees. And it's made from those layers of 2-inch MDF that I had laying over in the shop. So good use of some waste material. That's that one. That's for the seat. Similar mold right here, just a different seat shape. You can see how that one comes out of that. And then this is the one for the backrest. And so what we'll do is we'll cut these pieces of bendy ply, we'll put them in the vacuum bag, and then once they're dry, we'll take them out. We'll put this back on the CNC, and the CNC will then cut out this perimeter curve right here. So then I can pop that seat out, and we're left with, in this case right here, it's kind of like a Pringle shaped piece. This one is again like curved down towards the front, and then this backrest is just a planar curve just to kind of hug your back. Okay, so here you can see the most up-to-date mock-up of the chair. I really like the frame and the brake here. I think it's looking pretty elegant, even though it's quite a crude mock-up. So now really what we're testing out are like, are the ergonomics correct? Is it comfortable, and does it look good? And so that's really more of an art than a science. So, you know, we're trying different backrest profiles. I mean, in this one, I even got the jigsaw out and started to taper things in. I think what's emerging from this prototype is you can see that the chair kind of tends to, all of the geometries tend to pinch at the back here. It's almost as if like, think of like a wasp with that like really thin thorax. So everything is kind of moving in this direction. And so the initial seat shape was a lot fatter. It just didn't suit right. So we like shave that off and make these angles kind of pinch in here. And I think I'm gonna do something similar with this backrest too. It's a little too symmetrical. We tried one with a little handle here at the top and a slot so you could drop in your handbag. So really now it's just gonna be iterating and making different shapes and seeing what like feels right and what's comfortable. But yeah, absolutely delighted and really excited about this product.